So I thought we would maybe have a sitting practice of working with the first foundation of mindfulness again. We haven't done that in quite a while. So we're going to, maybe we'll try to sit still for maybe 30 minutes, and I'll let you know at the end of 30 minutes, and then if you feel the need to move a little bit and have a reset, that'll be fine. And of course, it's always the case that you never want to sit. If the stillness it just continues to create tension in the body, it's far better to then move gently, stretch your arms or open your eyes even. I want to remind you all of something I said maybe a month ago, the idea of, it's not really so much a joke, but putting a little sign on the front door to the meditation hall that says, the no waiting room. It's very difficult to imagine what a sit for 30 minutes or 45 minutes, what a sit is like if there's no waiting involved. But we know that this is really the ideal, this is what we're aiming for, is something that is like staying awake, staying alert, and at the same time resting. The problem with resting is that it tends to lead us towards sleep. Most of us need rest. Most of us need a lot of rest. And it's really true. Our lives, we stay so busy mentally and physically, and then just those little moments of rest in meditation, which can be so wonderful, they're also so seductive, because something that is tired immediately begins to slip into something deeper than rest. So how do we stay alert? How do we keep the sit alive moment to moment and at the same time rest? And that's kind of what I mean when I say this is a no waiting room. So over the past couple of months, I've been finding more and more myself drawn back to this very first teaching of the Buddha, this very first technique of staying mindful moment to moment of the first foundation. So I thought I would talk you through that this morning, inviting you to stay alert to the words. Hopefully the words will not create tension. As the mind rests and as we get more calm, the words can really be intrusive because partly maybe we just don't want to be interrupted. So hopefully that won't be too intrusive. But I would also hope that the words will help keep you awake. In other words, some of the alert part of the sitting is to stay absolutely trying to process the words as you hear them. So as we sit, and if we know that our object of meditation, this sit, is going to be the first foundation of mindfulness, we also know that that means that the body, this living, breathing body, is going to be our meditation object. I think when we had our sit Wednesday night, I was suggesting to everybody that the one thing that the body is not capable of doing is it can't be in the past and it can't be in the future, right? You know that. You know that by your very nature. The body can't be 3 seconds ago. No matter how amazingly magical you are or I am, we can't make the body be here 3 seconds ago. We can't make it be here 3 seconds later. It's here right this moment. This is where it is. The heart beats in this moment, not in the past and not in the future. The breath that you take this moment, as you inhale, is now. I don't ask you to think about it. Just experience the magic of it. Every single breath we take, you and I, is now. When are you inhaling? And when are you exhaling? Now. There's a very famous book called The Power of Now. This is now the body. This body is now. So we're going to let this body be our teacher, our meditation teacher in this sit. So if we're going to experience this reality of this now body, how do you know the body is here now? So that's not an intellectual question. I'm not inviting you to be philosophical about this question. How do you know this body is here? How do you experience this body? And I think that the fundamental teaching would be that the body, or rupa, is experienced through sensation. Sometimes it's called sensation feeling. That's a little bit confusing in Buddhism. But we don't need to worry about that right now. I'm just going to invite you to become aware of the body through sensation. So you're wide awake, and then you're just beginning to maybe subtly start to rest as you bring the stream of awareness towards that which you most experience as sensation in your body. So each of us, we're all so different. It's quite possible that you're sitting with some sort of maybe something uncomfortable, some pain, which would be your most predominant sensation in this moment. So there's no cookie cutter answer to that. I'm going to share with you that as I find talking happening, the predominant sensation for me is the weight, the heaviness of the body sitting on the cushion. I suspect if my feet were on the floor, if I were sitting in a chair, that might also be almost as predominant. But for most of us, I suspect that what we can mostly feel is the sensations, not think the sensations, not imagine the sensations, but absolutely be present to the sensations of this living body that, as it sits on a cushion or on a chair. There's a sensation in the right buttock, and there's a sensation in the left buttock. They're not the same. And then I experience from that this kind of stream of sensations streaming from the buttocks through the hamstrings, pressing on the cushion, stretching all the way through the right and stretching all the way through the left. Like a stream of sensations coming really, or at least connected to the buttocks. So I'm going to invite you to see if you can do the same. And I'll remind you again that if there's something that's more prevalent or that calls the attention of mindfulness, for sure go to that and investigate it. But be with it as closely as you can. So the next thing that I want to remind you, and this goes back again to the alertness and the rest. The alertness part is that this is not a one-time thing. It isn't as if, you are to say, there's the sensations, and then we go merrily along into whatever else the mind wants to do or entertain itself with. This is a steady stream of awareness, a steady flowing of awareness toward the sensation of the lower part of the body as it sits on the cushion. When is it that we're wanting to not be doing that? In terms of meditation, the response would be never. This is the meditation. Concentration is the ability to stay on the object, moment to moment to moment. Mindfulness is this knowing when you slip off the object. Concentration will never tell you that you're not on the object, nor will it tell you that you're falling asleep, nor will it tell you that you're getting restless or distracted. That's mindfulness. But the concentration is absolutely necessary to stay on this object of sensation. So I'm going to invite you to remember that as we're doing this, the goal is to continue to do it moment to moment to moment. Find that predominant sensation and then stay there and stay with it and stay awake to it. What is the sensation like? Is it tingling? Is it throbbing? Is it warm? Is it cold? And is there a shape to it? So when the awareness begins to really focus and rest on this object, as it concentrates on the object. Sometimes then you can really sort of spread out that awareness. For instance, I discover now that as well as being very connected to the sensations in the lower part of the body, the buttocks, the thighs, the hips, I become really very aware of the hands, the fingers interlocked. A kind of a tingling in one thumb, the right thumb. So the mind is beginning to relax enough so that it can sort of spread, the awareness can spread. So as you begin to relax in this state of alertness, I'm going to invite you to see if you can allow now that awareness to maybe envelop more of this living body. The palms, the fingers interlocked perhaps. What does it feel like for the thumbs to lap over each other? I notice as I start experiencing the different sensations in the fingers, and every single one, every finger is a different sensation. I notice that I automatically, the awareness, I should say, begins to encompass the toes and the feet. And the lips touching. The touch of the air on the hands and the face. The concentration part of your sit is your ability to come back moment to moment to moment to the object, which is the sensations of the body. The first foundation of mindfulness. The concentration part is this steady, continual, moment to moment arising of concentration. The mindfulness part is that part that keeps you awake, so that you don't get seduced by the concentration, which tends to make all of us relaxed. It's good to be relaxed, but we want to be also awake. So continually be watching to see if your mind wanders. So perhaps now we can begin to experience this living, breathing body as one space of sensation everywhere. It's almost as if we fill up that space with the awareness. The energy flowing everywhere. The body is alive, and it's only now. It's here, living and breathing in this moment. One of the most brilliant things about meditation is that we become sensitive to how the mind wants to go away. It doesn't want to stay on anything. It continually is curious and it wants to go away, and it doesn't like to be told what it's supposed to do. So it's kind of important to know as we do this, it's really mind training. We're gently teaching the mind to stay focused on the sensations of the body. So any moment that you've discovered that you slipped away, it's a great moment. Because if you see that you've slipped away, by definition, you're going to be coming back. Just find a sensation. It's pretty easy. Just go back to what that sensation is most calling: the buttocks, the thighs, the hips, perhaps the belly, perhaps the pelvic region, perhaps the chest or the back. You're not asked to do anything. You don't have to do anything at all with it. You're just experiencing this body. It's pretty wonderful. Keep coming back. Keep calmly coming back. In a way, if we are truly here in this moment, each of you and me, each of us, if we're truly here, we've only been sitting for a second. We've not been sitting for 20 seconds or 20 minutes. We've just been sitting just right now. It's the mind that comes in and says, well, how long has this been? I'm tired. Whatever the judgment is. But if the mind is just truly resting alertly in the first foundation of mindfulness, time just seems to stand still. And there's no waiting. I was sitting with someone 2 mornings ago, and she said that the biggest problem that she has when she is trying to do this meditation is that she gets bored. So I said, so what is that gets bored? What is bored? Usually boredom means that we're uncomfortable, actually. And we just call it boredom, but usually it's a kind of something deeply uncomfortable, maybe even dissatisfied. And maybe even it's the First Noble Truth of suffering. Maybe to really sit in this meditation and be truly, truly engaged with the first foundation of mindfulness. Maybe we begin to experience a subtle dissatisfaction. Something that says this moment is not good enough. So if that is the case, that you feel that, it's just a teaching, and it's a good thing. And all we can really do is to just then come back to experience once again the sensations in the body. Find that first place that you begin, perhaps that predominant sensation, and then again just allow the mind to wake up around that sensation, really experience it. What's it like? Tingling, pulling, pushing, pressure, whatever. And then just allow yourself to experience the whole body again as one feeling space of sensation. So now we're going to just do one more little, sort of like just a little turn as we continue to stay with the body as a space of sensation and feeling. So we're almost finished. But I'm just going to invite you to see now if you can begin to become aware. The body does one thing. The body feels, for sure. That is to say, it sends sensations to the brain. That's for sure. And that's a wonderful, wonderful meditation object. The other thing that the body is doing is it's breathing. Right now, the body is breathing. So I'm going to invite you now to see if you can stay very focused on the sensations. But at the same time, begin to gently notice the inhalation. That also is a sensation, isn't it? And the exhalation. Not doing anything with it, not making it happen, just taking this vantage point of being this witness to this amazing body that breathes. Just keep coming back every time to that next inhalation. Doesn't matter how many times we get lost, come back to that inhalation. And I will remind you again that we're doing it in the context of feeling the whole body sensations. We're still connected to the palms touching, the tingling in the fingers, perhaps in the head. And yet, so all we're doing is we're watching that feeling space. Inhale and exhale, as does everything in life. Taking in and letting go. So we've been sitting for 30 minutes, and so I'm going to invite you to, if you want to adjust your posture, if you need to do that, want to open your eyes, feel free to do that.